Welcome back to another Alliance War video. This is the final war of the season. It's for Loki versus HCAR. I got some friends over there, so this should be an interesting war. And I have Professor X, White Magneto, and Omega Sentinel, and I am taking this America Chavez up first. I did have the choice of bringing Torch here, but I really did want the synergy for Professor X to get ramped up a bit, and to make a few fights kind of easier moving forward. Now, this fight goes actually pretty smoothly. To start, I'm going to just parry heavy. I have a White Magneto pre-fight, and the plan basically is that if she does get some negative zones, to push her to a different dimension before she throws the SP2 so she can dump that power. But here, I'm going to see if I can bait a special one. She throws a heavy randomly, so I'm like, okay, great. I just need her to throw some specials before I fully commit to, taking that SB2 on the block. And I have an indestructible boost, so if I have to push her to an SB2 or SB3, I'm okay with that as well. So she's throwing her specials, so I'm like, okay, the first zone is almost off. I don't have a dex here, so I'm gonna, parry heavy and kind of, hit her a little bit. I'm already fully charged. Throws this special, and I'm like, okay, perfect. At this point, I just need to get to the Fury up, and I need to I need to go red. So right here, I probably should have, manually triggered mind control. Right there, I definitely should have waited for the Fury. She throws a heavy here, and then she throws another one. So what I learned from this fight actually is that I don't want to mutant boost versus her, because her negative zones will reverse the mutant boost that I get. So you'll see that I'm SB3 spamming here, but I'm actually going to lose power, which is fine. He does a significant amount of damage, so I'm like, oh, I'm under 2 bars, so I wanted to go to her to throw that SB2, but you see that I killed her. And I am running recoil right there because I did want to have as much damage as possible, but I think next time when I face her, I'm not going to run mutant boosts for her, and I'm just going to let my SB2 kill her. So at this fight, I have Fury up, and this is really why I wanted the Omega Sentinel synergy, because I wanted to have 3 charges for this Fury. Not really needed, but I just didn't want this fight to go on any longer than it needs to, and it's similar to the last time I took Fury here. I'm just going to build up to my SB2 initially. If I'm under 100 charges, then I'm going to throw it. I have mutant boosts on, and I took recoil off for this fight because I did figure I was going to throw some specials outside of the SB3 spam, and I didn't want to lose any more health than I needed to in case I get clipped, or the block damage from his second phase is pretty extensive. So here, I'm just basically managing his flourish buffs. So I want to make sure that I get a parry heavy, and then I can get another parry heavy if he has 1 flourish buff. After that, I'm going to push him to an SB2. Right there, I throw my first SB2. I get some power back, and I just did that to basically kill, take some of his health away. So here I want to just make sure that I bait this special. I don't want to get cornered, so thankfully he throws it here, and I want to stay away, and I want to remove those flourish bushes. This Fury actually was very, very kind in holding this block after some specials. So like right here, you see he dashes away. I'm like, perfect. I want to get another heavy. I stay away from there actually because the protection was about to pop back up, and he was going to shrug my stun. So basically, I'm just trying to manage those flourish buffs here. I'm going to heavy, and I want to parry and combo him to an SB2. So he throws this, and I'm just waiting to kill his first life, and get to an SB3, so I can essentially just spam it once he starts degenning. And I want to make sure that he is actually losing health in his real form. So before I throw my SB3 spam, I've made that mistake in the past before. So at this point, I'm like, okay. I was really hoping that would push him over, but it didn't. So 1 more heavy, and I'm just waiting for him to degen. At this point, I heavy charge because he's under 100%, and I'm going to spam this. So that was that fight, and at this point, it's just going to spam. The next fight I have is Mordo on Power Snack, the Power Sting Mini, and all I'm going to do with that fight is I'm going to pop an Invul boost. I have an SB3 boost on, and I am running full recoil, bleed and poison with Omega Sentinel because she will regen off the start with that. And I'm basically going to drop a Wags versus Mordo, and I'm going to just combo him, and if I can throw my special 2 or special 3 outside of a Power Sting, then I will. And that's just the plan for Mordo there. So this is going to go rather quick, and I'm going to start explaining my next fight. So the next fight that I had, these first 3 fights is probably where I was most worried about, and the next fight I'm fighting Quicksilver. So let's get through this first. So I'm just looking at my boost. I'll pop an Invul, and then just head in at this point, and you'll see that this goes rather smoothly. I'm not worried about dexing with MD because I can tank multiple special 3s from him. If he throws his special 1 or special 2, that's perfect. I'll dex it, and you see that the white Magneto pre-fight right here lets me essentially hit into a stun. So at this point I'm going to heavy and remove the power gain, and just kind of hit him with full recoil and boosted. She does a significant amount of damage, and right there I have 2 power stings, so I didn't want to throw my special 2, and it's 30 seconds in and he's just literally melting. So at this point I'm like, yeah, well, I'll eat an SB3 right here. He doesn't throw he doesn't throw his SB3 right here, but I end up killing him. So his next fight is now Quicksilver. And I've actually talked to my friend about Quicksilver extensively this season, and I'm pretty upset about how this goes, because I already had a plan prior to this fight that I've gone over that what I think is the best way to fight Quicksilver. And I had a white Magneto pre-fight for that Mordo fight, and I used to take Quicksilver by parrying and putting the evade on cooldown, or just heavy charging, and I was a bit too relaxed going into this fight. I'm using a power start 1 because I want to get to my special 3, and I want to basically end the fight sooner than later. All he needs to do is throw 1 special, whether it's a special 1 or special 2. I can essentially get to my special 3 and get my fury up and go from there. But things don't go exactly as planned, and on top of it, I probably could have saved the fight as well. Now the thing with Quicksilver versus him, so here I just wait too long. I should have thrown a light, and I didn't. So I have those whiplashes on me, and I'm trying to parry to get them off. And at this point I'm like, so I need to get 1 more parry. So here I get that whiplash damage. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm still in good shape. I just need to get to an SB3 with over 50 charges, and I can manually trigger mind control. But I need him to throw his special 3 right here, and I don't have the spacing down on how to bait it correctly. And you see as I'm dashing back, he just catches me, and I take that special to the face. Now that's just horrible. At this point I lost my streak, I think, because I was 115 or something. And also my deathless. This is the last war. I was deathless up until this fight. So in this fight, this is what I should have done, and this is what I already knew before, is that I want to actually hit into his block and let my falter timer basically rejuvenate. And I want to basically do that so I can dash away and heavy charge to get my vigilance up. And at this point I'm going to parry heavy comfortably. I don't have to worry about his evade, and I'm just going to build to my special 3. But it did suck to die to this fight, but I did realize something. I'm fully ramped right here, and this protection does about 60% damage reduction when it's up. And I think that the node is still bugged with SP3. I don't know for sure, and I don't know when Caban fixes those things, but I realized that I don't really care if it's bugged or if it's not with Professor X when he's fully ramped. I can run max recoil and do about 150 to 160k damage with my SB3. If you throw a protection up, then I'm still doing about 50k damage with mutant boost. I'm still nuking this guy. So although I did die, I thought about everything in the death, and it was very insightful because I could have saved the death if I would have just initiated mind control and gone with my SB3 spam, and he does plenty of damage. So sucks to lose the streak. It sucks to to die in war, but you got to learn from the deaths and then move forward from there. And that's essentially what I'm taking from it. It's up to my the rest of my BG to pick me up, and hopefully that we close out strong in this war. So next up is this Sassy, and I'm going to do a power start 1 boost here, and the plan is to basically parry heavy, don't worry about the damage, and bait an SB2 if I can without him throwing any SB1, so he can dump his power and I can get an intercept. And the reason I want him to dump his power is just so I can get that intercept off of the combo ideally. So if he throws a special one, then I have to dex it, and then just deals with MD, so he's throwing more specials. But right here he's playing ball, and I miss a parry there, but my Falter kind of protects me. I'm like, okay. So I have to kind of, that sucks because it's just on cooldown at this point, but I have to bait this special too. And I'm at this point, I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't go into Wrath because I'm not at 100 charges yet. But he doesn't, and I get at 100 here, and I'm like, all right, cool. Throw this special one. I'm gonna do a backdraft. I get the intercept, and then I throw my special 3, and that's all she wrote. So that was an easy peasy Sassy fight, and that's it. At this point in the war, we are tied, so it was still close. But once I get to my next fight, there was an option for me to not take it, or a teammate of mine, Wheeler, to take it. And I looked at my girl, and I was like, oh, she's like, you're done for the night. She knew I was bummed about dying, and I was like, I have one more fight that I probably should take, but someone else can take it maybe. And she looks at me and she's like, you died, you should probably not take it. And I was like, that sucks. Like I can definitely take the fight. I've taken the boss fight, a spot on the boss, multiple times, and it's just something that I can do comfortably. So she basically pushed me to do it by trying to get me to not do it. I don't think that was her goal, but we're winning at this point. We have the war locked down. I'm not really taking this too seriously, and this is exactly what like KT1 was talking about. When you underestimate things, is like when things go wrong. And I had kind of a plan. I was going to heavy counter his SB is heavy, just like the bosses, but I kind of like lose track of that because he's really kind of hitting my block. And at first I'm like, okay, I'm really worried about the damage from brute force more than anything. And I'm like, there, I hit his block, and I'm like, man, I should have done that. Then I do it again, and he's gaining spots, and I'm just like, I'm over 100 charges. He's at an SB1. I don't want to get cornered. Like, I'm thinking, like, what am I gonna do here? Like, I can throw my SB2, and if I manually trigger mind control, he dexes me. He's untouchable, so he's gaining ruptures. Then he hits me in the corner, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to trigger this manually and end this fight. Like, I'm not scared at this point. I was just kind of thinking, like, what am I gonna do? As I'm thinking about that, I'm just getting cornered. So, not the cleanest way to end the season, but ultimately, I'm glad the season was over. We did well as an alliance. We got top 10 with this win, and my BG did really, really well. Really proud of the guys this season. So looking forward to build on that. It's like every alliance has their own goals. It's like, we can be happy with an alliance, 4 death, 5 death clear, because that's what we're happy with. If you're a different alliance and you think that's a really bad clear, then okay, that's perfectly fine for you. You guys are pushing something more. We're just trying to have fun, enjoy the game, and try to improve on what we're doing. And that's ultimately, I think, the best thing about MCOC when you're in an alliance. So I'm gonna take a look at the stats for this war. Shout out to Karate Mike, Smugs, and PWF for the MVPs. GG's to HC Armageddon. And this war did end, and we ended up in Masters rank 5. That's 8th overall. So that was pretty sweet. If we would have lost that last war, we would have been out of the top 10. So that's also good. But here I want to go over a few text messages from somebody in my alliance that keeps claiming that I'm being a menace about him not using Herc in war. And I'm finally releasing these so that people know the truth about what this person is saying. And I'm not going to put his name out here on blast. Maybe you can figure it out, or you can't. There's his little profile picture right there. He was too scared to take a boss, and then he says those things about using Herc, but he's afraid of using Herc, right? And so then, throughout the whole season, he's sending these messages to me. And what am I supposed to do? I just want you people to know the truth about why we take boss fights from him. But these are my end of season stats. So 66-1 overall, and some of those colors you can figure out what they are here. This is our alliance stats. These are the stats that I keep personally, and this is the champions that I use. The streak says 117, but it's not. It was at 115 when I died to Quicksilver, so I'm at 2. You see that I used Professor X 32 times, Wag 7, Torch 11 times. I took him to R4, Valkyrie 10 times. Total of 66 fights and 1 death. So that was a Alliance War Season 40, and thank you guys.